Sourcing is how you win in the game of reselling. And what happens when a reseller runs out of items to source, or their usual sourcing method has pretty much dried up? Well, that's kind of my situation right now, and I'm going to talk to you about that on the other side. So without any further ado, let's go. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is John from Flippin Ain't Easy. And as I mentioned before the intro, sourcing is where you make it or break it in this business of reselling, and it never was a challenge for me the first couple years of reselling. And I was fully expecting the beginning of 2022, all the Christmas returns would come rolling in, and the liquidation deals would be just plentiful. But I couldn't have been more wrong. The reality is that while I've been able to buy a few lots here and there, I haven't been able to get the best deals. And as we speak right now, middle to late part of February, here I am, and the sourcing opportunities for me, at least on the liquidation side, have dried up. And I'm gonna kind of do something different in this video, and I'm gonna take you with me on my computer, and I'm gonna show you exactly what I'm talking about, how some of the sites that I like to look at, while there is liquidation there to be had, it's sort of bottom of the barrel. It makes me wonder, am I going to have to find another way to source, or is this the beginning of the end? So I'm going to talk to you about that. Let's go to my computer and we'll go check out some of these sites I'm talking about. So I'm going to start with a few different websites that I like to check out. Between buying online, that's my preferred way to do it. Dealing with buying online, picking up locally so I can skip out on any, excessive freight charges, because we're talking about usually dealing with large pallets. I'd like to just go pick them up locally if I can. Even my local sources for pallets have dried up, and it's just getting scary, to be honest with you. But let's just take a look at some of these things here. This is Blue Lots, and I don't do a whole lot of business with Blue Lots, but just wanted to throw these guys in here. I don't deal with this kind of thing, blue gloves or nitrile gloves. Electronics is something that I look for. There's 3 days left in this listing, 124. The MSRP is about $1,000, so I like to be in my 40-40 method. Gets me into these kind of items for about, I'd say, 16% when it's all said and done. And after shipping, we're already probably at my max on this particular lot, and we're dealing with 11 items. Even if I spent $200 on this, I may only make $300 or $400. So I'm not all that excited about it. So let's see what else we have. I always skip out on cell phone cases, screen protectors, and all that kind of stuff. Not into jewelry, clothing of any kind. Really, I just try to avoid that. If I'm going to do clothing, I'm just going to go on to Macy'sLiquidation.com. I find that they probably have the best selection of shelf pulls, customer returns for the price. And you got to sign up for them and give them your information before they approve you. But it's definitely a place to go if you are into clothing. But as you can see here, I'm not trying to make a long video. Samsung Note 10 batteries. I don't see, 175, you get 50 units. They say $32.50 MSRP. A lot of these sites blow up their MSRP to make the item seem to have more value. As you can see, there's 0 bids. And for $175, that places this at about, I'd say, a couple bucks per battery. I'm just not looking to do that. I don't know where those batteries have been, what they've been through. Batteries are sort of iffy anyway when you're shipping on eBay, so I'll pass on that. More stuff, garden trimmers, not really interested in that. And another thing with liquidation, you want to be selling things that you're familiar with. And with that, I mean, I don't want to go in and start buying a bunch of jewelry lots and I have no idea what I'm selling. Then I might end up being stuck with stuff that I have no desire to sell, and I may have just found that I bought a lot of stuff that has really no actual value. Now, as always, you want to check your solds on eBay to make sure that the model number and the type of item you're selling has sold and has sold frequently. And that adds to the challenge, right? Because I'm sure all these lots up here are sellable in some way, shape, or form. But which ones are sellable on eBay? You know, you could take a lot of this merchandise to a flea market and probably sell it for $5 or $10 a piece. That's not what I do. So, you know, I'm looking at this kind of stuff. Tree Lab Aint magnetic neckband, Bluetooth earphones. You get 20 of them for $3.19. That means they're already at about $15 a piece. It'll be up to about $20. That's all you're going to sell them for when it's all said and done. So that's definitely out. Looking at Samsung S9 original batteries. Again, we're dealing with batteries. I don't think I want to be in the market, but let's just take a look here. Samsung S9 batteries. So Samsung S9 batteries. $5.99. That's free shipping. $10.75 free shipping. You know, if you think it's going to be about $4 to ship, so you might make anywhere between $3 to $5 is about what you'd make on each of these batteries. If we then go back and look, so if there's 100 of these, that means that they're selling for $1.45 a piece. Okay. Now, realistically, there's 3 days left in this listing. It'll probably get up to about 200. And even if I'm paying $2 to $3 a piece, you know, if I can only make $5 off the item, $6, because I have to put shipping in there, it's definitely just not worth my time. So again, you know, you got some high pressure rainfall shower heads. I don't see a brand name. They say there's 100 for 3,000 MSRP. That means these retail for about $30 a piece, and they're already at $400 for the lot, so that's about $4 to $5 a piece. If an item is retailing at $30, you're only going to get about half of that. That's before shipping on eBay. So again, that's out. And I don't want to make this a long video, but I just want you to see some of the merchandise that's out there. So it's a lot of the same on blue lots here. A lot of small ticket items, and you know, if you're willing to take the small profit and do a lot of the work for the small profit, then I suppose, but that's not where I'm at. So the next site, we can go to Bstock, and you browse the marketplaces, and you have to sign up for most of these to get access to their actual listings. So now, as you can see here, you know, this is where you want to avoid the Bstock supply, in my opinion. There's a lot of shysters on the third-party Bstock, and just to give you an example, these are all third-party sellers, and this person's trying to get $500 for a lot of Dre Beats, 11 units. So he or she's already got this thing up to about $40 per unit, stating that the retail is $34.50. Just not doing it. In fact, I don't trust. I don't trust this part of Bstock at all. I mean, I just want you to see what kind of items are being offered on here, but it's a lot like the blue lots. There's more batteries. There's just like a lot of batteries, and it's not something I want to be stuck with. You know, we're dealing with, they say, authentic designer handbags, Michael Kors, blah blah blah, but you know, I'm not going to get too excited about that. I don't even know if they're authentic, so I'm just not going to do it. We go back into the marketplace side. Okay, so we'll go into Costco here and go into the inventory. And I like to go for customer electronics, consumer electronics. That's kind of where my sweet spot is. But if you look, like for instance, it says 1 pallet of headphones and more. These are customer returns. The MSRP is $26,000. Current bid's $3,000. Right? There's a little over 14 hours left. this would normally be something I'd have my eye on. You know, it's a pallet of goods. I like the way they present their stuff. You've seen my B-Stock videos before. But I can tell you what is currently at $3,050. You add another $500 for shipping. And this is coming from Texas. I'm going to be at $3,500, which I'm fine with on this lot. But if you do the 40-40, I think we're at like making 11,000, and we basically have to be into it for about 5 or less. Problem is, I don't think I'm going to be able to be into this for anything under 6,000 from my experience with the half a day left. So I'll definitely add this to my watch list, but I just don't think this is going to be a winner. And there's a lot of things like, you know, if we go back to the bulk of your value, your retail is $3,160. There's 109 USB cables that make up $3,000 of this. So to me, I'm already taking this down to 23,000 because those cables aren't going to sell for 30 bucks. They're going to sell for more like 10 to 15 if they do. And I'm just looking through this manifest here. And another thing that you have to remember with Costco, they allow their buyers to return items more than 30 days. In fact, you can have an item you bought 3-4 years ago, take it back for any reason and get your money back. And that's what goes into these liquidation lots. So a lot this is $26,000 is a lot cheaper or a lot less valuable than that because of those factors. So that's just one lot there through B-Stock. One thing that cracks me up is, you know, you'll see like already with the day left, you have, you know, 5,287 is the MSRP on these Apple Watches, and it's already at $22.25. It's almost at half of retail. This will get up to about 75% of retail. I don't understand how people can make money on these lots. So I'm very careful. It is very hard to find lots. Look at this. $4,720 is the retail. There's a box of Apple Watches, and $3,325. You can't make money that way in this game. You have to be able to give yourself some kind of leeway to be able to move your prices, to move your items. And if you're into an item for 60 to 70% of MSRP, man, it's going to be tough, especially if it's not a brand new item that you end up getting. So this isn't all that promising either. So I'm going to click off of Costco. And there's clothing, there's other goods that you can source for. But again, I'm not into clothing. You know, if you are into clothing, that kind of thing, it's something that you can check out. I mean, there's GameStop. They do a lot of iPhones, but their iPhones are very expensive. I've checked out HSN Liquidation. They're interesting. JCPenney. Of course, if you're familiar with Home Depot Liquidation, Lowe's is about the same. QVC, Sam's Club liquidations. I haven't done a lot of Sam's Club liquidations, but if you look, there's like 3 pallets of apparel, tablet cases, you know, a bunch of miscellaneous. I haven't logged in. I don't even know if I actually have a login for the Sam's Club side of it, so I'm going to keep moving. Walgreens, there's Walmart auctions, so you can actually go in and try to get truckloads of home entertainment, general merchandise, apparel, that kind of thing. And if you have a location that is in your area, they will ship it for free up to 300 miles, which is kind of cool. But for me, they usually have them in Las Vegas. There is none available for Las Vegas. And so you can see, you could take a look at some of the pallets. Looks like they just threw these off the truck like in the middle of the night. But give you an idea of some of the stuff that you'll get by just looking at this. These are the truckloads that you're going to, the pallets on these truckloads that you're going to end up receiving. And the current bid is $7,025. Now, for me, this is probably coming from New York, so it's going to cost me over $5,700 just to ship 24 pallets from Johnstown, New York. And it could be anything from tools to clothing. I mean, pool tables. I mean, if it was all this stuff, it would be worth it. But chances are you're going to get busted up furniture. You're going to get used clothing. You're going to get just all kinds of stuff. Now, there is a manifest. And, you know, we're dealing with refurbished goods, a bunch of refurbished goods, a chest freezer, things you'd maybe would be okay selling at a flea market. But again, I'm trying to keep my items where they're low in size, so that's not going to work for me either. So I'm going to get off of Walmart. Just kind of looking at a bunch of different retailers, and we can go to Home Depot, and I'll show you something later on that. But there's a lot of stuff. Best Buy does a lot of just large appliances, so that's not going to work. The Amazon liquidation auctions, again, these are mixed lots. One pallet here, one pallet there. $3,000 for one pallet. This is of PC products, wireless goods, and it's just miscellaneous stuff. And of course, I'm not logged in there. And again, by the time it's all said and done, you know, $3,300 or $3,030. We still have another full day for this. After about, it's coming from Indiana, $600-700 in shipping. It's not going to be worth buying. So that's going to be off the table as well. Let's move on to the next site. This one is directliquidation.com. And I've been involved with the CEO of this company, David, and he's been in contact with me. And he's even sent me a couple pallets to review. And I've shared my honest feedback with him. Wasn't impressed. And you know what? I don't see a whole lot here either. I mean, let's say I looked at... So I look at their electronics, for instance. You have a lot of stuff that, in my opinion, is just overpriced. You know, if you're dealing, and this crossed out price is their MSRP, right? So they're already starting it out at like 30% of MSRP. Well, you know, with my formula, it's already at 30% of retail. Well, that's way too high. I mean, after you pay for the shipping of the lot, you know, you're going to be about 40 to 50, 60% into this product, and good luck with that. You have a lot of Nintendo refurbished games, but again, we're dealing with like 30, 35% of MSRP, and that's just too high to pay. It's too much. So I'm just looking like a lot of video games, right? $8,000 MSRP, but that's if you go into Walmart and buy these like for 40, 50, 60 bucks a game. You can't sell that on eBay for 40, 50, 60 bucks a game. And look at some of these titles: old Madden, last year's FIFA, NHL, a lot of sports games. They, after a year's up, there's a new one coming out. And, you know, right now it's at about 17, 18, maybe 19% MSRP, and you haven't even paid the freight to get this to you yet. So definitely not interesting to me. Again, another one of these, pretty much the same, a little bit more. You have some DVDs and some movies in here, but DVDs just don't sell for a lot. You know, you might have a DVD that sells for 15 bucks at Walmart, but you're not going to get that on eBay in most cases. So this is some of the stuff that you can see that I'm looking at here. You know, some RAM for a laptop. Again, we're dealing with what, almost 40% of MSRP, and it says grade C refurbished. You know, it's just hard to see making any money on these lots. You know, so this is kind of, you know, old tax software, that kind of thing. 2019. I don't know anybody who's using 2019 H&R Block software to do their taxes. So this is just another one that's kind of out of the picture for me. So we go to Old Reliable, which is liquidation.com. I'll do an advanced search here. So I'll do locations, but I won't even do locations. I just want to look for pallets. Okay. So I'm doing a search for pallets, and this could be anywhere in the United States. They have, if you go back here, they have Garland, Texas, Plainfield, Indiana, Brampton, Ontario, that's in Canada, Pittston, Pennsylvania, North Wilkesboro, North Carolina, Las Vegas, and There may be one or two that maybe aren't on this list that don't deal with pallets and just deal with small boxes. But I like to deal with pallets. And you have like furniture. I don't want to deal with furniture. You got more furniture here. You've got E-grade television systems. Now in the grading system A through F, E can't be that promising, so I'm going to pass on that. A lot of things like basketball hoops, large items that just don't translate well to eBay. And I do the marketplace thing when I have items that are large, but even that's tedious. No one wants to be sitting around waiting for someone to show up when they say they're on their way, and that happens all too often with marketplace. Pallet of assorted consumer electronics, $900. Okay, that's the MSRP. But and the chances there's no manifest on here, so there's no manifest. It's just a blurb. So you have to rely on what you're seeing, and this looks like a lot of junk to me. I don't see any, original packaging or anything like that. That's not definitely. Right now it's at, what, 12% of MSRP? Here's some home goods. That's from Canada, so I'm going to have to pay the cost of shipping it internationally to the United States. Freight, that ain't going to happen. I avoid that like the plague. Christmas trees, no thank you. More furniture. That's just page one. I mean, I'm just seeing a lot of the same, a lot of large items. And you see the theme here, at least for me. A lot of the smaller ticket items are just nowhere to be found. And that tells me that your bin stores are just gobbling up all these small to medium size liquidation lots. And when I say small to medium, I mean that's the size of the items that are in these pallets. And they're just gobbling them up because they want them in their liquidation store. Here's in Indiana, a pallet of assorted general boxes. These are a lot like the ones that I bought before, and it's at $7.25. There's still 9 hours left. I wouldn't be surprised that this goes up to about maybe $800, $900. And you're dealing with 20 boxes of who knows what. It could be a lot of the stuff you've seen in the 20 box lots that I pulled out. So not encouraged there. And plus I'd have to ship it from Indiana, so that's not happening. Another $400 or $500 for that. Flooring, larger, stuff, build.com. So guys, I'm just not seeing it. And, I'd say 80% of my sourcing comes from just going through these sites, finding a lot that's going to work for me. And, I just don't see it here. Pallet of microwaves. That may be promising if you can go pick it up locally, if you're in Indiana, right? But I'm not going to pay $5 or $600 to have this pallet of Hamilton Beach goods shipped to me. These sellers have creative ways to get you to buy their lots, but don't be fooled. Do your homework, but don't jump on the first lot either. Like I said in a couple videos before, 90% of liquidation merchandise, liquidation lots are losing propositions, and you can make money if you weed through these lots. The problem is the good lots are just getting harder and harder to find. It's like searching for a needle in a haystack, and it's just frustrating, guys. So what do you guys think? Comment down below. Let me know what you think of some of these different lots that we were looking at. What's your take on some of the merchandise that's out there? I gotta tell you, this is nowhere near the liquidation merchandise that was available 3 years ago when I started doing this full time. Lots weren't picked through. Lots had a lot of value. A lot of the stuff we looked at, it's just not going to work. So I need to figure out another way to get some merchandise and fast. I'm down to literally 3 large tubs of merchandise, and probably about 7, 8, 9, 10 large items that all of it's been sitting here for a while. And I always like to keep, at least about a pallet or two sort of in the background to work with And that's my sign that I need to go and source some more. And I've been trying to source for the last couple weeks. And the kind of stuff that we just saw is the kind of stuff that I've been coming across. So who knows? I'm going to keep you guys posted. I plan on doing some stuff locally. So hopefully I can bring that to you on video, on the next video, to kind of see what I'm seeing locally. But I really think that this bin store craze, looking at a lot of the co-op forums, that is the bin store co-op forums that a lot of bin store owners go and post on. There's a lot of bin store operators that are just having a hard time getting truckloads of merchandise. The demand for truckloads of this Amazon liquidation merchandise is just drying up. So yeah, that's my situation. There's other topics I'd like to talk about, but this one has really been weighing on me. And of course, this channel is sort of about, reselling in general and my experience and the things that I'm dealing with as a reseller. So I thought it was appropriate to discuss this with you today. So again, comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on this subject. And of course, I would certainly appreciate it if you'd hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. If you appreciate my honesty and just being candid with you the whole step of the way. And of course, hit that notification bell so you can be notified the next time I make a video. So guys, sourcing, it's probably the most important part of this game. But when you run into these kind of problems, it's just another sign that flipping ain't easy. And I want you guys to have a great rest of your week, and we will talk to you very soon.